Hello again, friends. Okay, if you're still with me, good job, awesome. Let's talk now about their actual wedding date. So now we're going to use the technique. I need to write something on these videos. So with the technique, remember, we're looking at the individual person's birth chart. That's the moment they began. It's their origin point. Everything moves out from that, from the initial origin point. And then we're going to look at, as far as string of time, there's the birth, wedding date. Okay, birth, wedding date, and then we're going to take our string, we're going to go right in the middle, we're going to cut it, we're going to look at that date. Forms a little kind of a triangle. So this is going to be first kind of Jay-Z, where he was at in his life on their wedding day versus, his birth, his origin. So where is he kind of grown to? What is it back, we're doing that midpoint process, right? Where was he at halfway through his life? Halfway up to that point. What year was it? What does life look like? So, let's get him. We're going to look at him first. And again, you can use this technique for yourself. I love this technique. There's a big full moon coming up and everyone's like, or whatever, some, cosmic event, and people are flimming and flamming about it. Yeah, it might be a big deal. Maybe it's bad Mercury retrograde or something, or maybe it's not that bad of a Mercury retrograde. You're like, oh, this will be cake, but you don't bother to kind of look and see how you personally will be affected, or what you're going to bring forward from your past. Bring it up for sort of reevaluation. Yeah. So anyway, it might end up being really bad Mercury retrograde for you, but if you sort of know why, maybe it can help you prepare. So with the wedding date, I have as April 4th, 2008. And I read that they got married later it said kind of early evening. And they were both born on the 4th. So I have a feeling that they got married at 4:44 because they also got married April 4th, 2008. So see a theme here. So while I appreciate the choice of, April 4 is great, 4/4, but remember, you have two very strong independent individuals, kind of perfect that they choose Aries, an Aries date, because it's like they're coming together to start something brand new. They both, I think, maybe had childhoods, like we all do, that weren't perfect. And the idea when you first get married, especially when you're young and you haven't had kids, is you have this idealized picture. Well, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do it so differently from my parents. And usually we just do it the same as our parents did. That's normal. So, because you have to heal your relationship with your mom and dad. That's the whole point. Like, you got to, parts of you that were angry at mom or angry at dad that got repressed, you're going to now act them out with your partner, and they're going to act them out with you, so that you can look at mom and dad with a different eye. And you can say, oh, I used to be so angry at dad for this, but I get it now. I forgive dad, hopefully. Or if you can't forgive the person, at least you can come to a place of really deeply understanding. Maybe. Okay, so that's, with these two, we have a February 3rd, 1989 date. If you look at this from Jay-Z's perspective, so their wedding date on that day, and any year really, on April 4th. Okay, so springtime for him. It's going to bring out the Aquarius vibe. If I was marrying someone, probably I wouldn't want to get married when my son was like in Aquarius. Because having been in relationships like this, Aquarius is wonderful for friendships. In a romantic setting, you're going to individuate, okay? You're going to be forced to be pushed up against things either from your partner or outside sources that are on again, off again relationships, are really common. If you have like a Davison, okay? Remember, we have a Davison with these two that's in Libra. So the relationship itself is naturally, they're going to want to kind of come together, to collaborate with each other. They're going to naturally want to form some type of a duo, okay? With it being, his sun is an Aquarius though on the wedding day, 14 of Aquarius, which to me is not, I don't love it. It's also square Pluto. It's also, square Pluto and Scorpio, zoinks, and at 15 of Scorpio. Their wedding day was 15 of Aries. That's in conjunct their wedding day, like Pluto's secrets, his own demons, his own fears about, things he might go do. It's like when you're standing on a really tall building and you think, oh, I could just jump off right now. That's kind of how I felt, I think, on his wedding day. Like, I'm marrying this amazing woman, tons of planets in the sign of Capricorn for him. So it's like, feels the mature, it's the grown up, it's the right thing to do. It feels proper and all that good stuff. But the sun's still in Aquarius, and there can be an element here too of it being him breaking free from a past pattern he had for himself. If he was like a player, guy that never thought he'd get married, then that's, I get it. But Square Pluto, it also says, it's not over yet. Like, and he knew this. There's an element of like you unconsciously. I think time, everything's happening at once. I think those who are psychic just are time feelers. They can sense things that are in the future. Okay, and so T-square for him: Sun, Pluto, Mars. Mars is in Taurus, 8 of Taurus. It's like it's a wide square. But that Mars is receiving this year, of course, conjunction from Uranus. Be exact next year, but it's neither here nor there. Point I want to make about this T-square is Aquarius, as I said, there's detachment from the self. So with all the Capricorn, moons in Capricorn, Uranus, Moon, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, Venus. Mercury's retrograde. Mercury and Venus are right next to each other in Capricorn, though. So this to me has this quality of feeling like he was stepping into this role, being the man, husband, the father, eventually, Capricorn. But Uranus is here, right next to the moon. And there's kind of, to me, there's an element here of him wanting to run away at the same time. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? Not because he doesn't love Beyonce, not because he didn't, want to do this with her, but because he wasn't sure if he'd be able to be faithful to her. And from this place of recognizing this is a good person, this is a good woman who deserves a good man. Am I a good man? Right? Okay, so I almost feel like he had to cheat because Beyonce had to be given the opportunity to experience what her mom experienced, so she could forgive her mom for any resentment she may have towards her mom, if this exists, and towards her dad. She had to heal that. She had to forgive him. And he cheated with, come on, Becky with the good hair. I mean, come on. It was not a threat. I mean, Becky's not taking, this is not about Becky. This is about Jay-Z also going for some, what is he doing? He's trying to sabotage, trying to do the exact thing that he may have been unconsciously afraid of, in a sense, when he got married to her. He's a better man even than he realizes, and he may have a story that he's tied into from his relationship to his father or his familial relationship to manhood, even cultural relationship to manhood and what it means to be a man and a husband. So in my mind, on the wedding day, all that Capricorn, he felt the responsibility, he felt that sense of duty, he felt the sense of I need to do this right, and at the same time feeling a bit unsure of himself. And if you'll notice in this chart, remember it's a Davis, then took his chart and the wedding day. Chiron's at 1 of Cancer. The wound, Cancer, the mother, the woman, the family. It's a retrograde too. It's opposite all that Capricorn. This can be on the wedding day. Beyonce, she's nervous or worried or, all that stuff. Not wanting her to feel feeling afraid, having cold feet kind of, about marriage, the wedding, and all that stuff. But also, because of her, that was the thing that he had to step into himself. He had to step into his manliness, right? He had to keep his commitment to marry her, to marry this woman, to make the decisive decision. Capricorn's like the guy in, makes me think of Clint Eastwood. It's the guy or there's a storm in the middle of the night and your hay bales are getting all wet. So someone's got to go out and cover it up. It's that guy. He's got to go out in the damn cold rain and cover it up. That's not fun. Who wants to go do that? I don't want to go do that. I don't think anybody wants to go do that, but somebody needs to do it. That's Capricorn. So big part of him feeling that responsibility, but also Sun in Aquarius kind of ooh, am I up for this? Okay, squaring Pluto. Secretly feeling this way. So I say good job to him for, on your wedding day feeling that way and doing it anyhow, right? You had to make that decision in the first place so that you could make the mistake that you sort of unconsciously assumed or knew you would make anyway, because you may have deeper beliefs that tie to your lovability as a man. If you saw your own father, abandon your mom or who knows why, I don't know his story. there's resentment there, but there's also I am my dad and my father, right? So there's a part of you that is this thing that you maybe all those years saw as evil or a demon or bad or blah, 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 right? But actually, it's a story. So you yourself go experience it firsthand so that your soul on a deeper level is able to forgive, dad or whatever. So he kind of had to cheat with Becky with the good hair, which is white too, which kind of has this cultural element thrown in, which again may tie into a past life, remember? Because what if Beyonce was the white girl in a past life that he had an affair with and he was a black man or something? I don't know. Okay, now for Beyonce, water left. Throat is dry. Okay, so for Beyonce, the relationship is a December 20th, 1994 relationship, which means it's Sagittarius. Sun at 28 of Sag. And of course, we know Jay-Z is a Sagittarius. He's a 14th Sag. This to me feels like they both, the wedding day, there's a hopefulness. There's a belief, a surety. We are doing the right things. There's certainty sort of with Sagittarius. I've decided something and it's going to be awesome. It's hopeful too. It's like when Obama, wasn't his slogan like hope, basically? That's very Sagittarius. Okay. So for her, Sun and Mercury was in Capricorn, the father. Mercury at 1 degree of Capricorn, conjunct the Sun, the wedding day, her experience of her wedding day, right next to it. Mercury in Capricorn, the story about husbands, commitment, tradition, the rules, etc. And you'll notice, see in her chart, because we have her birth time, Chiron's in the 12th house, and it's in Virgo, 26 of Virgo, squaring the Sun. So she herself, even on the wedding day, it's like there's going to be wounding. Knowing something, this is a day that's important. If she had nerves or jitters, like I'm sure everyone does on their wedding day, it's because you're about to embark on a huge epic journey with another person. It can be anything you want to make it, but you have to show up every day, and you have to show up, face yourself, partner, you have to bite your tongue, and she maybe had to face some of her fears that have to do with her story about her fears about men and about the father and about the husband. And Sun conjunct Mercury to me too feels as though it's like a second chance. Sun Mercury conjunctions always too. They did a vow. They renewed their vows, right? Mercury. I'd love to look. I don't know the date that they renewed their vows, but anyway. Point is, there can be multiples, more than one. So more than one wedding day, right? With this guy, past life wedding day. Who knows? It's all tied into though her relationship with her dad. So I feel like that first phase of their marriage was like, okay, healing, working on some of their own child stuff. They weren't even ready to get married yet, which is normal. Most people get married way before they should. I don't think you should really, if it wasn't for reproduction, people really marriage, I don't think we're psychologically prepared for until we're in our 30s, at least. So, okay. For her also we have Moon in Cancer. So the Moon's 22 of Cancer, exactly opposite Neptune at 22 of Capricorn. 22. Kill or be killed. That's that degree of extremity. It has this quality to it it's pivotal. Emotionally, family, and Moon being up in the 10th too. Of course, it's like her mother in a sense. It's the archetype of the mother, the woman, the wife. Opposite Neptune. To me, this feels like a fantasy fairy tale, kind of like getting married and what you're wearing, or the whole thing being kind of a dream. So I like that they renewed their vows, but I haven't seen the chart. I think I like it. I'm not surprised. Their wedding day may have felt like it wasn't real, like it was fairy tale. That's what your first wedding is. You've never done it before. Weddings are an interesting ceremony. She's got that happening for her. Also, Uranus is there. So Uranus, the liberator, that wedding day was setting her on a course to free her from a story, that she may have about women and mothers and family, all of it. And kind of here's the fairy tale thing that you think that you want. We'll see how that unfolds for you. So she may have been quite jittery on her wedding day, I'm imagining. It's like both of them sensed and knew their bond is, so many things I could say about their charts, but they're definitely definitely soulmates. Not categorizing soulmates. There's all types. They're definitely doing like a replay. It's like they're picking up where they were unable to finish in a past incarnation, I believe. Okay. Now, Venus in Scorpio, 14 of Scorpio. So remember, 14, 15. The wedding day is 15 of Aries, remember? And Jay-Z's, was it Pluto for him? Was it 15 of Scorpio? 14, 15 Scorpio. Right next to her Venus. Venus in Scorpio, kind of the girl inside of her, what it was, maybe even on her wedding day, that she was hoping to capture for herself, to be able to kind of hold on to feel safe, was the relationship. Venus being in the second, it's very private too. And I think their wedding was very private. It's kind of Scorpio stuff. That makes sense. But he's Aquarius, Sun. The wedding itself, what she was wanting was all or nothing. She's like, you're mine, I want you, no one else, and you need to want me and no one else too, by the way. Venus for her in Scorpio is ruled by 29-degree Pluto, which again is his Venus is somewhere there. No. His Venus is between, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's like a karmic, unconscious wound that she already has, I believe, from a past life that has to do with him and perhaps women and his sort of relationship to women, or maybe even the daughter or the girl. It feels very fated, very destined, their wedding, but with the triggers that had to do with their individual egos and what real love really, really is. It's not about owning someone or finding your security because, they've said some words and signed a piece of paper. I mean, I digress. I do think weddings, there's a sacred quality to the ritual, the ceremony of marrying a person, because you are publicly setting that person apart, and they're setting you apart from everyone else. And it's being done in a way where you have a collective, and then you have the two of you. And I think marriage actually, as I've moved away from my divorce more and done my own work and been on my own, I haven't dated anyone for like a bajillion years. Well, since last August. Marriage is beautiful, and the work you do there, the only reason you wouldn't like marriage is if you just, you really don't want to face yourself. If you don't want to work on yourself, if you don't want to become the best version of who it is that you are, then don't ever partner long-term with anyone. Just go do what it is you want to do, and you'll stay at a level of development. Or you can get married and stay at that level too, if you're selfish and you just, you can make it what you want to make it. For her, this had this quality of feeling like she was putting everything kind of into it. Like, now we're married. There's an absolute sense of completion with Scorpio. You're mine now. I own you, second house, kind of like. But ruled by Pluto, which is also conjunct to Venus. So to me, it feels like he knows he had a commitment he needed to keep with her on that day. She knows that there's some shit that's going to go down. Her moon being up in the 10th feels like a vindication almost as well of her mother. A little bit too. Hey, Mom, I'm going to fix you. Or I'm going to heal you. I'm going to free you. I'm going to liberate you from men that are bad. I'm marrying this good guy, and I'm going to make it work with him. He loves me so much. Right? Neptune, Uranus down in the 4th. Not maybe totally fully owning the fact that you're marrying someone that's exactly like the kind of person that your dad was, and perhaps even like that unconscious, that little child, the hubris that we have, thinking that I'm going to do it better. You're not like consciously thinking, but it just is, okay? So for her, Mars in Virgo, opposite Saturn. Saturn's in the 6th, Mars is kind of in the 11th, on 11th and 12th. To me, it just feels like the wedding day is like choreographed or rehearsed, or it doesn't feel very authentic. I hope that when they got married or renewed their vows, that it was more like earthy, more personal, like maybe don't wear, I think I saw a picture, they were like in wedding stuff, wedding clothing. Maybe they should do a tape 3. I gotta find out the date. Okay, so Mars in Virgo for her, early Virgo, and Mercury in Capricorn feels very traditional. It feels to me like it's this is the day where I finally get the physical, the vow. I get the the ring, the commitment, the paper. like at the ceremony, the physical manifestation of this relationship is real. Okay, so hopefully this has been educational for you guys. Another really quick thing I wanted to talk about really fast. I have tons of readings I need to do, but just very quickly, if you want to look at Donald Trump, so look at Donald Trump and compare him with election night 2016. Look at him compared to the election night during midterms in 2018, and then look at him 2020, okay? Now, I'm not making a prediction yet because I haven't looked at everything. So far, I do think a few things. I think he currently is working on something that is, so that he can be reelected, that is where he just goes ultra to the right, okay? He is going to push his base, ultra uber conservative people. Those are going to be the people he is, even more so than last time. The wall and all the Mexico stuff, I don't think he's going to, there's going to be a little stalling that's going to be happening with all of that. When I looked at everything so far, he looks like he's going to win. I mean, there's several huge, like, where I'm just like, okay, well, shit. I guess we're going to have him as a president again. Unless there is some Democratic or independent person that pops up that I haven't seen yet. Because so far, I've been highly disappointed by the charts I've looked at. It's Trump. And then in his second term, he does all the shit we don't want him to do. Because in his, kind of on that night, there's a quality here of, there's conservatism. His son's in the 8th house, which kind of is like, remember his first election, he was just doing him. Second house, son. He was in his own message. He was comfortable just, it was new to him, and he was just owning it, basically. This next election cycle, or, November 2020, feels like other people. He owes other people. He's promised a bunch of people. And they have control, not him, until he gets into office. Because we also have, I believe, Mars. No, is it Mars? Moon and Aries. Moon and Aries in the 3rd house. Which feels a little bit like you are, you're saying what you gotta say to get what it is you're wanting. My hair is really being annoying today. Sorry. And has this quality of being duplicitous. It is Moon, but it feels to me like he's like, okay, just get through this, Dawn. Just get through this. We're just gonna get through this. Let's get elected again, and then let's do what we really came here to do, which is who knows. So take a look at it, see what you think, and then take a look at your own life. See important days, if you had traumatic days or what have you. Look and see what you can see in the charts. Read the string of time. Last thing I'll say, when it comes to astrology and just the human experience, no one can experience your life through your set of eyeballs, through your body. You've been with it since you were born, and you came forward at a certain moment in time. And time is something we don't fully understand scientifically yet, right? We understand sort of the dimensions up to, I understand the dimensions up to like the 5th dimension. That's it. But time is this sort of phenomenon that we still don't. There's like a piece to it that we don't have understanding of it, and that may very well be consciousness. It may be perception, and it may be quantum. Your perception of your life, your experiences are singular, and they're yours. And at the same time, where you're at right now in your life is like this. It's a buildup of all these little moments, all these perceptions, right? Mercury and the Moon. How you are taking in and filtering the world around you might not necessarily be what's really happening. So use these charts to help you see, on that Mercury retrograde, everybody thought it was horrible, and I was like having an awesome, few weeks. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys, and yeah, take care. Also, I'm gonna have to do maybe another video, but for you guys who are looking for readings, I currently have a sale over on the website. So there's like a flash sale over there, and just for some summer readings for the solstice. So if you feel like the first half of 2019 hasn't quite been what you were hoping, that's normal. It's like pretty much everybody this year. Neptune is square Jupiter. So great time to come to an astrologer. Let's just look and see what it is where we can sort of readjust for the rest of the year. Okay, thanks guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.